Day 42, 75 hard. I'm on my walk this evening. It's a beautiful night for a walk. I love my evening walks. I love seeing the sunset, and the weather's just always gorgeous. It's been such a blessing to do this challenge and to help me be more service oriented, and it's allowed me to make small tweaks to make myself more focused on others and less on myself. One day, my daughter after school asked if she could go play down at the creek, and she's a little bit younger, and she wanted to take our neighbor who's also a little bit younger. She wanted to take him with her. And so that meant that I would also have to go down there. And I don't know how the rest of you moms are, but my life is always so busy and I didn't know that I had time. But because of this challenge, I decided to say yes. And I was so glad that I did. I showed the video of it earlier. And we just had a great time, and it was so beautiful down there. And it made me realize that doing service is so much more fun than anything else you have on your to-do list. And you're going to be glad that you did it in the end. Another day, one of my siblings called. And my siblings and I don't all live in the same time zone. So sometimes they call at times that are a little inconvenient. But I really wanted to make sure that my sibling felt loved. And so I answered the phone. We had a really good conversation, and we were both able to share some feelings with something that had been going on and really help each other. It was a real blessing to both of us. Another time I was going on one of my walks and I ran into one of my neighbors, and so I changed course and decided to walk with her, and we had a really good conversation. We're able again to uplift each other, and it just made me think of the Savior and how he's known for compassionate detours. He's doing things that are good for other people that maybe weren't on his list of things to do that day, and I was really glad that I was able to do that. Another day I was going on a walk with a friend, and as I was praying that morning, I felt that I needed to point out things that she was good at. And so I was thinking about that as I was going on my walk, and she told me about some cool stuff she was doing with her kids to make them feel loved and spend one-on-one time with them. And it was actually really helpful to me. It made a big difference to me, the things that she said and the ideas that she had. And I was glad that I had that direction, because I don't think I would have tried as hard to press for those answers if I hadn't gotten that direction in the morning. Later this week, I was sick, which is really difficult when you're trying to do a challenge to help other people. And so it was really inspiring because I was able to see a lot of people serve me when I wasn't feeling well. I really took note of the service because of this challenge. I saw that my son, my 9-year-old son, he made me a sandwich and a whole lunch because I thought maybe I was going to be able to go on my daughter's field trip with her, so he was making a lunch for me. I wasn't well enough to go, but I thought it was so sweet of him to do that. I also saw that my daughter, she really stepped up in the kitchen and just kind of took over everything, was doing all the dishes and really helping out, and I was so appreciative of that. Also, my daughter had to go to work, and I was not feeling good at all, and we didn't have any other way for her to get there. And I asked her, I said, can you just run over to the neighbors and see if they can give you a ride? And they were so nice to give her a last-minute ride to work. And then lastly, on Sunday, we had a special conference that we watched, and we had invited some people over, and they couldn't come. but we had made plenty of food, and so we tried to think of somebody else who could come. And so we invited somebody last minute to come to dinner after our conference at home. And it was really fun. I was glad that we still tried hard to make it so that other people could enjoy it, and I think they had a great time. So this week, since I was sick, I did something that you're not supposed to do on 75 Hard, which is I skipped some of the things on my list. With 75 Hard, you're supposed to go every single day with no misses. And if you miss, then you're supposed to start over, which is really crazy when you think about how far I am into the challenge. But one of the things I know that is true about self-improvement is that it really doesn't matter about being perfect. What's more important is getting back up when you fall off. So there were a couple of days because I was just so ill that I couldn't walk. I couldn't go on my walks those days. And I just said, you know what? I'm still going to keep going even though I missed a couple of days, and that's okay. That's what real progress is about. It's not about getting bogged down because you missed a day. It's just moving forward. One of the things that James Clear, he's the one who wrote Atomic Habits, one of the things that he talks a lot about is not missing 2 days in a row. And I missed 3 days in a row, but I still feel like it's really important when you miss to just get back up and keep going. That's the thing that's going to make progress. And also, I just think about the service and I think about the people who were able to serve me. Like, that is so special and important. Because one of the things that has been super surprising to me during this challenge is how much I've learned about my own self-worth from doing service for other people. It's been really powerful and special. And I felt different while I was sick than I think I normally would, where a lot of times when I'm sick and I'm not able to perform my normal things, I just am really frustrated and just feel like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to. But this time, I just felt like the Lord wants to serve me and He wants to help me. And there's things that need to get done, and there's other people who can do it. And that is such a blessing. And it's because I have so much worth myself that it's worth it for other people to do things for me. Just like it's worth it for me to do service for other people, I have as much worth as anybody else. And so it's worth it for other people to serve me. And that was a complete mindset shift from how I normally feel when I'm sick. Another thing I've learned has to do with other people who serve. I've had a hard time in the past where I meet somebody who serves a lot and I just feel so terrible. I'm like, wow, I can't believe I am not doing as much as this person. But the thing that's been so special about this challenge is every single day I'm praying for opportunities to serve, and that removes so much of that guilt that I used to feel whenever I would meet somebody who I just thought was just the most amazing person and so good at serving. And instead I just feel like, hey, I am doing exactly what the Lord needs me to do. And it's been such a blessing to feel that and to not feel so much comparison and guilt. And I think part of the reason I was feeling that guilt before was because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. It was something I did need to change. And so I've been able to move it in a positive direction. And maybe I'm not doing the same kinds of things as somebody else, but I'm doing what I know the Lord wants me to do each day to serve people. The other thing that's been super cool about this challenge is I have just felt so much more confident about who I should be and what kinds of things I need to change to become the kind of person I want to be. I think before I kind of had a superficial idea of what I thought was the best version of myself. You know, maybe I had this perfect morning routine and somebody who was, going out and doing these big service projects, somebody who weighed a certain amount and all of these things, right? This was like my ideal self. And the more that I've been doing this challenge, I've been realizing that there's a version of me that I can be that's the best version of myself, that's also true to myself. Because as I talked about before, I'm a type B person where I just end up doing things in random orders, and I'm not very good about being consistent and doing things in a proper order and things like that. And I realized I can still accomplish all of the things I want to do while still being true to that nature of myself and not being frustrated and annoyed and kind of kicking against who I am. And it's been so empowering to see that I can do that it's like, hey, I can be consistent. I can do all of the things I want to do, and I'm not necessarily doing them in the perfect order. And I can also serve, and it doesn't have to look like this perfect idealized image I had in my mind. And it's really helped me to realize that it's like, I am closer to who I wanted to be than I ever thought I could be. And it's a lot easier to get there than I imagined. And I'm so grateful for this challenge to help me realize that this is something that I really can accomplish. And it helps me kind of set my sights on different things that I felt like I could never get to before because I was always worried about these just little things that I felt like were not correct in my life. And now I've been consistent and I've been doing them, and I'm so proud of myself. And that's what they call in social psychology self-efficacy. It's when you feel proud of yourself for the things that you're doing. And that's what's really been happening to me because I have all of this evidence of myself doing these things that I always said I wanted to do. I feel more self-worth and like I'm a better person. And it pushes me forward. It propels me forward to work on other things that I didn't even consider because I was always worried about these other things. So it's been really cool. I'm glad for this challenge. I've still got a couple weeks left, probably through the end of October. And later this week, I'll have another video, so be sure to check back. And if you're enjoying these videos, if this is the first one you've watched, I've got a whole series. This is number 7. So I've got 1 through 7 up of all of the weeks where I've been learning different things about service and working on these habits and growing and changing. And you can see that happen in real time throughout these weeks that I've been doing this challenge. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.